Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. And yes, you're not imagining things. It isn't a Friday. It is a Monday. It is a bank holiday Monday, of course, in the UK certainly. And we are doing an Arsenal women's show. We couldn't do it on Friday because Andreas was travelling down for the game yesterday. I was getting ready to travel down as well. So we thought we'd do it on Monday. So we've got a lot to get through. We've played two games since the last show, of course, Everton and yesterday as well. So we'll look at both of those games and a few things that cropped up from that. There is a small matter of a North London derby coming up in the next couple of days as well. And this is, of course, the last week of the WSL season as well. It's all going to come down, hopefully, to the last game if we get a result on Wednesday. So lots and lots still to look forward to here on the channel, and also, of course, on the Arsenal Women's Show, which will be coming up the other side of this. So, good evening, how you doing? And welcome to the show. We've got a great panel of guests, of course, as always. Some familiar faces here. I'm sure you all know who these guys are by now. We've been doing the show long enough. Andreas, of course, as always, good to see you home back in Germany safely. I'm sure you had a good weekend. Looking forward to the show.
Yeah, looking forward to the show. And I had a great weekend in London and saw a perfect match from our girls. So, yeah, was everything. Nearly everything was perfect on the weekend. I think we will discuss everything.
Yeah, no, it was a good weekend, and yeah, it was almost perfect. I agree. Matt as well is back with us as well again. How you doing, Matt? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm recovering from yesterday. It was very much went from nice and relaxing to very tense with both of those games that we had. But if you're wearing a red shirt, that's for sure.
Yes, it was. I mean, I didn't get to watch the Chelsea game. I couldn't watch it, but obviously Andreas was keeping us up to date on the group and stuff like that, and it was tense just from that. Actually, I was every time a message come from thinking, please don't say Chelsea have scored, and eventually, unfortunately, it was. But anyway, we will come on to that. And Harry as well. Good to see you again, virtually this time. Of course, we did meet yesterday at the game, which was great. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. It was so nice to see you both. It was exciting. You know what? I've met Andreas. That's the second time I met you, Andreas, isn't it?
Yes.
But is that the first time we've met Richard in person?
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like honestly, I keep thinking we've met before, and because it's like because we talk so much. But
yeah,
it was really cool. It was a great match. Brilliant.
No, it was a great day, and I'll say it was made even better by obviously getting a chance to see you guys as well, plus one or two other people that was there, which was great as well. So yeah, it was a great weekend. We'll come on to that game a little bit later on, but due to the fact we didn't do a show on Friday, we haven't really had a chance to go back. We might not remember too much about it now, but we did play a game away at Everton. Well, it seems like ages ago now. It was only just over a week ago. So maybe we'll look back at that first of all, and then we can move on to the great stuff that we saw yesterday. Now, of course, Chelsea played ahead of us the previous weekend, and we were playing catch up on them again, and it was a game we had to win. But I thought we played really well against Everton, didn't we? We dominated the game pretty much from the start. We got into them, we won the ball back high up the pitch nice and early, and we should and perhaps could have won by a bigger margin. I think that was the fact of that game in the end. But ultimately, at this point in the season, we'll take the 3 points, convincing victory. And it was good as well, wasn't it, that both Beth and Jordan, Andreas, both got their 50th WSL goals of their career as well in the same game, within about 10 minutes of each other as well, which was nice. And of course, Beth did set up Jordan's goal to get the record assist in WSL as well. So it was quite a record-breaking day for some of our players, and it was an important victory as well, wasn't it? I mean, overall, it looked more comfortable than maybe we were perhaps expecting, because Everton never really threatened us at all, did they, in that game?
This is one of the things from this season I don't really understand why Everton is playing such a weak role this during the whole season. When you look at the names, they should be more up in the table, and that's why I was afraid that we could get into trouble or could get problems there. But the performance was was solid, was dominating, and although I think it was at halftime only 1-0 for us. Yeah, you never had the feeling we could lose there, or it was more a question: when will we score the next to be on the safe side? So, and above all, this fact that Beth and Jordan got their 50th goal, it made this match just the perfect match for them. And of course, the third goal when Beth assisted Jordan, fantastic. And it shows this team spirit. I think this has developed in the second part of the season. I was not sure that it was a real team in November, December, January. There were some problems, I think, some problems within the team, but now it's a real team, and you can feel this in every match that they help each other. If one loses the ball, the next is there. They help each other. They are there for each other, and so for the Everton match, I think we can all be satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think maybe to a certain degree, maybe that team spirit issue has taken a little bit of time because it's a new manager come in, a few new players, and maybe they're all just gelling together, haven't they been? And I agree. I think we have seen it change in the last part of the season, certainly over the last 10 games or so, when you can really see the togetherness of them all on the pitch together, fighting for every ball as a unit now. And it's great to see. And yes, we maybe lost our way a little bit, didn't we, either side of Christmas, unfortunately, which we'll come on to may end up proving a little bit costly when it comes to winning the title, but we'll see. We're still winning their fight, and that's all we can hope for. I mean, Matt, obviously you was at that Everton game, wasn't you? You did a great blog for us as well, which was great. And I mean, what was the atmosphere like? There wasn't many fans there, was it? I know it was on the same day as a Merseyside derby, which seemed a strange time to put the game on, really, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that made it perhaps worse for a lot of the fans because it was either one or the other.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a track to go from. It was Anfield, and going from Anfield to Walton Hall Park. It's a bit of a trek, and the buses would have been a nightmare. So you wouldn't have been able to do one or the other. So I think there was still quite a lot of fans there. I would say there's roughly about maybe 1,000. Just on that, I think what should have happened is they should have moved our game to the Saturday just to help us out. They could have put it on at the 3 or 4 o'clock sort of time. Would have given a lot more fans to get over there. And they could have booked fans would, if they needed to book the hotel. There was a few fans from Scotland that came to the game. So that was nice to see. The atmosphere was amazing. Everton, I think when we had the chat, you had the youth teams having a nice little chant with all of us bantering left and right, which was a bit of fun itself. Trying to create as much noise as possible in it, and it's all about. I love that stadium. It's a nice stadium. It's going to be built upon in the future, and it will be a great little stadium in the future, that's for sure. Going into the game, they frustrated us. There's no other way looking into it. They've done this before as well. They frustrated teams, or especially Man United. I'll go back to that game at Old Trafford where they went and scored in the first minute, and it took United a long time to get that goal. And I think when we were talking at half time, actually, I remember speaking. You asked about the Steiner goal. I thought it was Caitlin Ford that was offside. Looking back, she wasn't offside.
No.
So that goal should have stood. Again, congratulations to Beth and Jordan on their 50th goals, and Beth for breaking the record. I actually spoke to Jordan just to say congratulations, and I took a photo with her. And I will probably talk about the next the Villa game shortly, but I was walking away from that and I was feeling quite positive about the result. The Everton fans were brilliant as always, and it was a great game, and I'm sure that it was quite enjoyable to watch it at home as well.
No, it was. It was a good performance from Arsenal, I thought, from start to finish, really. We were up for that game, you could see. Yeah, Everton were always going to try and frustrate us as long as they could. And I mean, I agree. I said to you at half time, I didn't think the Steiner goal should have been disallowed. It looked a good goal. It looked a nice move. The run looked a good time of the run and a good finish. But unfortunately, again, Steiner got on the wrong side of an offside decision and it was chalked off, unfortunately. But that was the only real negative from that performance for me, because I thought we were brilliant, really, all the way through. Caitlin Ford had a great game, a great opening goal as well. And I thought she played well again. She's in great form at the minute, which is good to see. And yeah, it was a good all-round performance and a good result that we needed as well. And helped with a little bit with the goal difference as well, getting 3 goals. Chelsea seem to be struggling the last few weeks to win by more than 1 goal, don't they? So we're piling in a few goals, which is nice. I mean, Harry, what did you make of the Everton performance? Because it was a pretty convincing victory for us in the end, wasn't it? We took a little bit of time to break them down, but we guessed that was always going to be the case. But once we did, it was just that how many goals were we likely to score, wasn't it, really? I wasn't too
worried. It's I mean, I felt like that the Everton game was a bit more classic Arsenal, where you know, sort of the first 20 minutes of the game we're trying to find our rhythm, but once the goal starts, we scored just before half time, didn't we?
Yeah.
So once the goals open up, that's it. It changes the entire dynamics of the game, and then it starts to unleash. I don't remember what the stats were, but we were, I don't know, it was like I'm guessing like 14 shots or something. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it was all in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, that's been a little bit of story of our season to a certain degree, hasn't it? We do tend to be stronger in the second half generally than in the first half most games. So I suppose that was just typical of a lot of games this season. But ultimately, we got the job done and in the end, pretty comfortably and convincingly. We could have scored 1 or 2 more goals, as we know, but it doesn't matter, does it? The 3 points in the bag at this point in the season.
I think the worry is, and you'll have to remind me, who was it that we were up like 3-0? Or something, and then they came back and Birmingham. I mean, it's so 3-0 suddenly doesn't feel like a comfortable victory at the moment. You know, you're like, oh my god, they come back. But typically 3-0 is, if you're 3-0 up, you're good. It's a game over. It's a rare thing for the team to come back.
No, it is. And I mean, obviously, Birmingham briefly threatened to come back, but we ended up getting a 4th goal and winning that game in the end anyway. But yeah, I mean, Everton never really looked like scoring, though, did they? To be fair, that game, it always looked as though we were just going to see it out pretty comfortably and just, get the points in the bag and get on the bus and go home, kind of thing. And that was, and it was good to see. And it was good that, Matt mentioned the atmosphere there as well, which was good, which is always nice to hear as well in these games, especially the away games, which is good. So, but yeah, I mean, that was, a potential banana skin, I guess, because although, I mean, I agree with Andreas, Everton have really struggled this season for one reason or another. They've got through a few managers that their players haven't really managed to gel as a team as yet, or all the way through the season. And but potentially on their day, they've got some quality and they could have posed as problems. But luckily, we were able to kind of stuff that out quite early on in the game and go on and win, which then, we had 1 or 2 kind of stressful days watching Chelsea, didn't we? In the meantime, unfortunately, playing Tottenham a couple of times and building our hopes up as they tend to do, and then stashing them again later. And in both games, actually, because the first game at the Hive, Tottenham led, didn't they, early on? Then after Chelsea equalised, Chelsea were down to 10 players, and you're thinking it's all lined up for us. But Chelsea showed their quality to win that game. And then the next game in midweek at Chelsea, again, Spurs equalised just before half time, and you thought, it's going to go our way again. But straight away, Chelsea got the other end, scored a goal and win. And it was a similar story, which we'll come on to again at the weekend. But so it was quite a stressful week, actually, after our nice victory. Watching Chelsea play is never a good thing. When
teach us to support Spurs.
Sorry?
I said teach us to back Spurs.
Well, no, exactly. Yeah, no, that was the problem. We were putting our hopes on them, and we know we shouldn't do that because we're told never to do that, and we should have listened because it was obvious they wasn't going to help us. And now we've got to pin our hopes on them being just as bad on Wednesday when we play them, so we can beat them. But no doubt they'll pull off a result or a performance in that game, but we'll see. But obviously, Chelsea winning those 2 games did put a little bit more, or potentially put a little bit more pressure on us yesterday, didn't it, when we played Aston Villa, because the gap was 4 points, games are running out quickly. We obviously had 3 left to play, and it was vital that we had to win that game yesterday. And I remember, me and Andrea spoke before the game. We were a little bit concerned how tight Villa were. They didn't give Chelsea many opportunities. It took Chelsea till 92nd minute, and we're thinking, they're going to be difficult to break down. But as we found out, that wasn't quite the case, and the game went slightly better than we maybe would have anticipated. I mean, before we talk about the game, I did want to sort of mention, obviously, Anita Asante, the great reception that she was given at the ground yesterday. When the players did that guard of honour for her before the start of the game was great. I mean, she had a great career, obviously. Was a great player for us as well back in the day. So that was nice to see. And I was quite pleased in the end that she didn't get the opportunity to play too well in the game because, we wish her well. We just didn't wish her well for that 90 minutes, did we? And it turned out quite a difficult game for her and her team because right from the start yesterday, we were right on it, wasn't we? From the first whistle, really, we were closing them down, winning the ball high up the pitch and created, I mean, realistically, it ended up 7-0. We had 3 goals disallowed. We missed probably 5 or 6 other chances. That could and should have perhaps been a record WSL scoreline in the end. It was just an incredible performance. Yes, Aston Villa wasn't great. They had players missing and what have you, but we played well. I think we would have beaten virtually anybody with that performance yesterday because every single player was on top of their game from the first minute to the last. And it was just literally a joy to watch. It was a joy to be there and watch the performance like that because it was just fantastic. There were so many great goals, so many great moments, and it was just fantastic. I mean, Andreas, there's so many highlights really to talk about. I mean, where can you start with that really? Because it was just an incredible performance, wasn't it? For 95 minutes, wherever long the game was.
Yeah, it was the best performance I saw in Meadow Park when I was there. And you're right. Villa was missing a few players, but no matter what, you have to deal with the circumstances, and you have to do your best and beat the team that is on the pitch. And we often said that we need too much time to come into the match. That very often the first half was a bit sloppy, and we only have grown into the match in the second half. On Sunday, everything was different. In the first minutes, there was so much dominance, so much pressure. Of course, it helped that Hannah Hampton was not in goal. But what I didn't understand, because she was there, she was on the bench. And the first 2 goals, maybe Hannah Hampton would have caught one of them or both, but on the other side, it was just a perfect performance. And when you saw with how much joy in every situation Viv was acting, I haven't seen her so positive, so willing to score. And sometimes I thought maybe she needs from time to time a new task. She was the midfielder, the creator, and on Sunday she was leading the attacking line. And just if something in her head made click, she knew I must score today, and she did perfectly. I think the third goal was also hers when she hit the crossbar, and it was an own goal, of course, but it was 90% to Viv, and there was no player who would you say take her off, she's not good today. They were all really strong, really focused and dominant, and you couldn't see any pressure that we must win today. And very impressive performance.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the pressure there, and it's odd, isn't it? Because this is our first kind of title change for a couple of seasons. It's Jonas's first title change in the WSL. Some new players in the team, and yet Chelsea, year after year after year, they seem to be feeling the pressure. That they're struggling to win their games. And in the last 4 or 5 games, we've won our games pretty convincingly, comfortably. And it's almost as though we're playing without pressure. And maybe the fact that we're chasing them has made a difference. Maybe we're a bit more relaxed now, and I don't know. It seems to have made there seems to have been a change, because Chelsea looked free flowing, winning their games comfortably a few weeks ago, and now the pressure seems to have gone onto them, and it's almost like they're playing with lead in their boots a little bit more, and we're just we're flying out of the blocks and we're winning games pretty comfortably. And it has been a shift, which is good to see actually, because it's nice to see just Chelsea are still just winning their games. Unfortunately, the pressure's not quite got to them enough that they're not winning. But Terry in the chat, how you doing, Terry? Says 2 dodgy pens should have been 6-0 and 0-0. Of course, Terry did predict 6-0 to us before the game. He would have been right without that late penalty, but it was nice for Nikita to get the goal, of course. And the other penalty would have been 0-0, of course, which would have been great. And Ryan from the Mr. Arsenal podcast there says, even though Chelsea won their game yesterday, they was very lucky that the ref gave them a soft pen. Otherwise, I couldn't see them breaking Birmingham City's defence. Fingers crossed, Man U turn up. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it was a soft penalty, but it was a handball. She had her hand up in the air. We got away with one. Leah Williamson away at Chelsea, very similar. So, I don't know. Yes, it was soft, but we would have been screaming for it, wouldn't we, if it had been in our favour in a game like that. So you can understand why it was given. And Ryan said, obviously, we have to do our job and win our last 2 games as well. Exactly, yeah. I just hope now United can take something. Yeah, of course, we're all praying and hoping that. First of all, we have to win on Wednesday, which we'll come on to. But yes, let's hope that Man United can do something. It's for their own good as well, because they need the win, don't they, for their own Champions League place. So they're not just going to roll over and let Chelsea win, are they? Which is good news for us, because it gives us a hope at least, doesn't it? Terry says there, while the old woman's in the kitchen, does anyone want a coffee? No, I'm all right. I don't know whether anyone else wants a coffee, but I'm fine at the minute. Thanks. I've just had me tea actually, because I say we didn't get back till 6:15, so we've had a bit of a rush since we got in. I mean, Matt, yesterday's game, I saw you was on the watch along, wasn't you, on Cannon Chatter TV? Good to see you on there. I caught a bit of that obviously yesterday. Caught up with it last night. What did you make of the performance? Because I mean, it must have been, you must have enjoyed it as much as we did, just the same, even though you was watching it on the telly.
Yeah, I did, and it was quite fun doing these things with other people. And I know you praised other people for creating these sort of content. There's everyone doing it, and it's helping grow the game as well. Well, just watching it was just almost like a Joe sort of game where he would just go on, you know what to do, the goal's there, shoot on sight. What really threw me off was the fact that I think it was a lot of the Villa players were youth academy players by what I was seeing from the from the starting 11, which is a bit of a shame really, because I was hoping for a game that was going to be end to end, a bit similar to the one that I saw at Villa Park where we went 1-4-0. But in the end, it just sort of means it doesn't seem to matter a lot for some of these players or managers that we've got these games coming up and there's nothing to play for anymore. So they know they're safe, or they got nothing to fight for us all. So they need to sort something out with that, because you can't have teams playing on the bench and then decide to bring in youth players halfway through towards the end of the season just for the experience. It doesn't go well, especially if you've got a title challenger in your remaining fixtures as well. It just doesn't look good on paper.
I mean, I do think Villa had a couple of injuries though, didn't they? I think that was more the reason. I don't think they chose to make those changes. It seemed as though, Carla Ward yesterday sort of mentioned it, didn't she? They had a few players missing, so they had to put some in. But at the end of the season, when teams don't have a lot to play for, it is difficult to keep yourself motivated, isn't it? That's in every league, not just in this league. It's in the Premier League, it's in Sunday League, it's everywhere, isn't it? It is difficult when you've got nothing to play for.
Yeah, I was just from their defending, it looked very amateurish as well. The fact that three of our goals, actually, both of Viv's goals and Beth goals, they didn't close it down. So they said, okay, I'll have the shot. And both of them went in. 3 of them went in. So it was almost like shoot on shot. Nearly swore there. Oops. Shoot on sight. And it just kept on going in. I'm very happy with that performance all round. It's all we can do. Keep going. We've now got a 2-goal difference going into these next 2 games, which is also important. I thought it was going to come down to a goal difference at the end of it. I've always said that. If it does, then that was an important step as well. So fingers crossed that we can get something out of these next 2 games.
Plus, of course, I say, we've got a better goal difference now, and we've got an extra game to play as well. So, we've got an opportunity to even get a bigger goal difference. I think the only way to get a goal difference now is if Chelsea lose to Man United, we draw one of our games and win the other one, and then it would go a goal difference then. So it seems unlikely that'll happen. I mean, possible because Man United could beat Chelsea, but that's what would have to happen, and we would have to draw one of our two and win the other one. And that would that's how the goal difference would come into play, which I say I'm not sure it will. Terry says, why was you hiding from Richard yesterday? I don't think you was hiding from me, was you? We just couldn't find you for a while when we were wandering about the ground. But anyway, we caught up with you in the end, which was amazing, which was good. I mean, you must have been pleased with that performance yesterday, obviously. And I mean, which goal was your favourite? Because there was two for me that I really enjoyed. What were your sort of favourite goals yesterday? Because they were all good in their own way, wasn't they?
Yeah, they were all. It was a brilliant match, and I think the one thing that stood out for me was just how comfortable the team looked. They looked really happy. They had a good time out there. There was a lot of laughs on the pitch. You could see that they were having a good time. Even that bit where, sorry, I'm not really answering your question yet, but that bit where Caitlin was shoving, at the penalty, they were all
penalty, yeah.
And from where it looked like from where I was sitting in the stands, it looked like maybe an argument was going to break out. But when you look at the replays and you see the cameras on the other side, look at it, they're all laughing and having a good time. And then of course Leah coming in and blocking everyone. That's what I'm talking about with the pressure. Just they don't look like they're massively under pressure. But to answer the question, my two favourite goals was Beth's goal was my favourite. I mean, just absolute screamer from outside the box, and Stina's cheeky little touch there. I mean, you thought she was going to pass to Caitlin, but and Caitlin was like, "Give it to me, I'm here," and then boom, and I think it was a nutmeg as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So it was just, I mean, it was just cheeky. So those two are my favourites. But even Viv, I mean, were both her goals from outside the box?
I think so. Well, yeah. The second one, the first one was right on the edge, I think, wasn't it? And then the second one was slightly further out. Really powerful. The second one, just the power, wasn't it, to beat the keeper? That second one, it was just
exactly. And she could score from every single point, but typically we see Viv scoring really close into the box, really close to the net, and in that sort of position. So to see them taking those shots is really good, especially Viv. To see them taking those shots when they can, it's like you said, they just shooting sight. Yeah,
I mean, yesterday certainly, as Terry said there, he says, to be fair, it was nice to see us have a shot from outside the box, and what a goal it was from Beth Mead. Yeah, I mean, Beth Mead's goal was a fantastic strike, curled away from the goalkeeper, didn't it? So the goalkeeper had no chance. I had a great view of that. And then I actually really liked the Stina goal because, funnily enough, a couple of weeks ago, was it against Chelsea in the cup? She had a very similar position she was in, and it was almost like she thought about doing that finish, but she maybe changed her mind at the last minute and left it too long to pull it back. This time she thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And she went for it, less pressure on, I guess. We were 6-0 up, we were 5-0 up at the time. And what a lovely little goal that was as well. And I do love Stina as well. So I was pleased to see her score, come on and score. Because she had a little bit of a tough time in front of goal, a couple of disallowed goals, say, last week very harshly. So it was nice to see her get a goal as well. It was a cheeky one. I did enjoy that. That was good. And obviously, we were all delighted, wasn't we, when Nikita Parris stepped up for that penalty to finally get her first WSL goal for us, but also the 50th one. She's waited 3 years to get the 50th goal. So that was a nice moment, wasn't it, that she was able to take that penalty. And she was made to wait all that sort of kerfuffle at the edge of the box and stuff like that. She had to wait for it, didn't she, to actually be able to take it, which I thought, she missed her last one against Koga, didn't she, in the Champions League? And I was a bit worried, thinking, maybe the pressure's going to get to her. But she stuck it away nicely, and it was great to get her 50th as well. So a nice, yesterday for me was, it was almost the perfect day. I mean, I was trying to think yesterday. I'm pretty sure that I've been going to watch Arsenal, men and women, over sort of 45 years, and that's the biggest win I think I've ever seen an Arsenal team live. I've ever seen an Arsenal team win, actually being in the ground watching it. So I'm pretty sure I haven't seen a bigger win than that actually in person. So that broke a nice little record for me, which I was sort of pleased about. And it was just an amazing game. Ryan says they're disappointed that Viv still didn't celebrate her goals. Saka will will be disappointed. And obviously talking to Terry about the yeah, I mean they did that when they got their Player of the Month awards. There's a little video where she was trying to learn Saka's goal celebration, and she said she'd do it next time she scored, and she scored and she didn't do it. But anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not bothered if she celebrated it or not. She's a great player. She got great goals, and we won the game, so it's all good. So yeah, but that was. I suppose it was a little bit maybe slightly disappointing that she didn't maybe do it, but anyway, it's not natural. She said, didn't she, in the video, it's not natural for her to celebrate goals particularly and to try and do it. She was struggling to kind of practice it anyway, wasn't she? So I'm not surprised she didn't do it, but anyway, I didn't really mind too much about that, if I'm honest. But yeah, I mean, it was a great day. Apart from one thing, which I know we have to talk about, because the injury to Jordan, unfortunately, at the end of that game, where she came on 5 minutes, whatever it was, later, she's gone down injured. I mean, Andrea saw her actually on crutches, with a knee heavily bandaged, getting a lift in Beth Mead's car after the game. So that was a little bit of concern, isn't it, when she missed the World Cup with her ACL? I don't think it's an ACL this time, but it's the same knee. Doesn't look good. I mean, Andreas, that was a sad moment, wasn't it, when she had to go off? She was in tears herself. Probably her last appearance for Arsenal, possibly as well, isn't it? I mean, a sad way for her to finish, because we wanted her to go out with a goal maybe when she come on, and to end like that was really disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we're all discussing since a few weeks whether Jordan will leave at the end of the season, or will she stay. Yesterday, I got the impression that it should have been her last match. Now, we don't know what will happen with the injury, but you saw her when she went down. She tried again for a few minutes, and then she went down again, and many other players came to her and asking her. You had this impression that everybody knew it's her last match. It should be her farewell at Meadow Park. And I think my impression is that's the reason why she came off in tears, and she applauded to the spectators, and it doesn't look good. But now we have to wait for the exact diagnosis. What is it really? Is it something for a few weeks, or I won't say this three-letter word, what we all fear it could be, but if this is it, then she's out for nearly a year, and maybe Arsenal will stay behind her and say, okay, stay with us for your rehab. But so far we don't know. We hope that it's not too serious. Maybe she's only out for a few weeks, and she would deserve to play the Euros, but I don't think that she will be fit for the Euros. It doesn't look good when she came out went to Beth's car. No. Let's hope.
Yeah, it did look good. And she was upset, wasn't she, when she got in the car as well afterwards, didn't she? This was like an hour after the game, so she would have had time to have kind of calmed down, but she was still upset at that point, and I think it certainly didn't look a good injury, and I'm sure it would be heartbreaking for her if she's not fit for the Euros, having missed the World Cup as well. That would be, she's just got herself back in the England squad as well. The last kind of few squads, it would just be really devastating for her, and that was the only negative for the day yesterday. That was quite upsetting, just seeing the way that she had to go off at the end there, and you could see how upset she was. And that was a real shame, because she's been a great player for us, hasn't she, over a number of years. Over 250 games, obviously 50 WSL goals now. She has been a fantastic servant to the club and a great player. And it's a shame that it's not going to finish for her on the high that we all hoped it would, isn't it, really, after yesterday? It's certainly looking that way, isn't it?
Yeah, and even when she went down, I started thinking if she's going to have to go off here, I think I was going to shed a few tears, and I actually kind of did. I think a lot of people were upset for her. The way she went off, it was almost, I don't know if it would have been a farewell, or, as Andrea said, they're going to stick with her for another year. Apparently, she's got a year left on her contract. I'll be wondering whether or not they'll be curious to see if they'll be trying to get a specialist in, or maybe send her over to a specialist somewhere, just so that she can recover and everything. You don't know what the extent of that injury is, but you know your body better than yourself. And if she knew something was wrong after that challenge, she would have known that something would have gone. It could have been something simple as a tear, but you never know. And if she's been a fantastic servant, she's been very unlucky with some of those injuries that she's had. She's called for so much research into female science and helping it go forward a little bit more. I think she'll probably be looking towards maybe doing that a little bit more in the future. I think that she's been fantastic, and I think even if she was decided just to take a couple of coaching badges while she was recovering, if it was, let's say, those three words, then I think she'll be a fantastic person to learn off. Our under-16s recently won league, and imagine if you had Jordan not coaching you on the side. I think that would be a huge inspiration for you, not just as to see how far you can go, but also where you can be from.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I mean, she's a great inspiration anyway as a player, and like you said, the other stuff as well. So I'm sure that she will, if she can't play again, certainly if she doesn't play for Arsenal again, I'm sure she'll be back at some point, maybe in a coaching role or an ambassador role or some kind of mentoring kind of role, because she seems like she'll be well suited to that as well, doesn't she, with her personality and stuff like that. So yeah, that's something for the future. Maybe it wasn't the nicest way for her to go out, was it? I mean, it was a shame in a way, Harry, wasn't it, that the timing of her injury coincided with Stina's goal, didn't it? Because she went down injured just before, she got up, we scored the goal, and she's gone down again, and it kind of stopped the celebrations of that goal a little bit, didn't it? Because everyone was so concerned about Jordan, which rightly so, it just kind of spoiled that moment a little bit, I think. But
it was a real sad time. It was definitely sad. I mean, but like Matt said in Jonas's interview with Tim Stillman, he said that she's got another year left in the contract, and there's no other plans for her. So it seemed to indicate that she's going to be with us for another year. So it all depends on what that injury looks like. And when you've got the whole of the summer, even if she doesn't play for the Euros, there's that potential of recovery. We'll wait and see what the injury is like. So I don't know if it is the last game for her. I don't know. It's a wait and see. I'm a bit more optimistic that it might not be as bad as it looked. I mean, she walked off the pitch. Naturally, they would ice it, bandage it, put on crutches, irrespective of what's going on.
Yeah.
So actually, I think the fact that she was driven home by Beth and walking in crutches that would be just precautionary, whatever the injury was, because obviously she's injured a knee. So I mean, I'm not the expert, but you'd get that anyway. You'd get that sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I said afterwards when we saw her come out that if it was a serious injury, if it was an ACL, she'd have got taken to hospital by the club. She wouldn't have been on crutches going in Beth's car, I wouldn't imagine. I thought that the club would have taken care of her if it was potentially a really serious injury. And that made me feel it wasn't as serious as we feared. But obviously, knee injuries when she's just got back from ACL, it's going to be serious.
They'll send her for scans. Probably they'll send her for scans tomorrow or today. They would have sent her for scans. And so more will come out throughout the week, I would imagine. Be interesting to see what happens on Wednesday if she is, if she's there. She won't be on the bench obviously because she won't be a sub, but
no,
she might be there, and that would be a good sign. So we'll see. Let's just wait and see. I think there's more Jordan to come.
Let's hope so, and I hope that's right actually, because it would be a shame if it ended like that, really, wouldn't it? Her Arsenal kind of football playing career, certainly, if that was the way it finished. But I wasn't necessarily thinking before the game it was going to be a final kind of game. It was just when she went off the pitch, the way that she reacted to the crowd. That's what players kind of do when they know it's going to be their last game. And I know she was emotional because of her injury, but I just felt as though that was quite significant to me, the way that she responded to that. As though she knew it was her last game at Meadow Park, and she didn't want it to end like that, and she was so upset about that as well. And I don't know, and maybe not. Maybe she's genuinely upset because she's injured and going to affect it on her career. I don't know, but that was a feeling that I got from seeing it. But we'll have to see. I mean, obviously, Jonas will know more about the contract situation and what the plans are than we will. I was just going off her reaction, actually. from what we saw. So, but yeah, I hope you're right, and I hope she does stay for another year. And because I still think she can contribute to the team. I'm not sure she's quite there to be a regular starter in the team going forward with the players that we've got, but she'll be able to contribute to the team, I'm sure, next season as well. So yeah, it would be a shame if it did finish like that. But
if I can just say, I've seen a lot of comments on social media about why isn't Jordan starting? Why isn't she starting? It's not fair. Jonas doesn't like Jordan. It's not fair. And you know what? I think it's wrong for people to put that kind of pressure on Jonas and on Jordan because clearly she's not. Her fitness isn't up to that sort of level. I mean, she was. It's only yesterday, and I think the week before that, she's had more than 15 minutes on the pitch. Well, I mean, she came in at 70th minute, didn't she? 72 minutes she came on, and she's only on for a couple of minutes, and then she went off. But she's been given this slowly more playing time, which is what she's needed. But that's how you look after your players. You don't chuck them on for a half a match.
Yeah, I mean,
after an ACL.
No, you're right, and my kind of thought has always been the same. When I've seen people say, "Oh, why isn't Jordan starting?" I always say the same. Well, who do we leave out to get Jordan a starting place at this moment? Who do we leave out? And that's a difficult question. It's a difficult question to answer, and it's not straight.
It is a difficult question, Richard. I think it's an easy question. You can't leave someone out. She's not there. She's not the player she was when she was 25 years old or 26 years old. She's 29, and this isn't taking anything away from her, but she's had injuries. So she needs to recover fully. She needs to be fully match fit. So you can't. What are you going to do? Take off Kim? Take off Wally? No, exactly.
And this is the issue I always have when people say Jordan should start. Yeah, but who for? Who in place of? If you can come up with the answers, then fine. You can go along with saying Jordan should start, but don't just say she should start and then not come up with who she should be playing it ahead of in the way that with the system that we're using. It just doesn't sort of work like that. But we all want to see Jordan play. Of course we do. We love her on the pitch. She's a great player still. But you've got to look at it realistically. You're totally right. She hasn't played much due to injury. You can't just throw her straight and expect her to play 90 minutes every week because she's not ready for that. And there's players now that are ahead of her, I think, in the kind of order now anyway, in the system that we've got, the players that we've got. So yeah, it is unfortunately where she is. But yeah, let's hope. I hope you're right, and I hope that we are going to see her next season at some point, still at the club, still playing, coming off the bench, making an impact, scoring some of those great goals as well. Going back to the penalty there, where Terry said. He said, yeah, she died for the penalty just so I got the score wrong. Yeah, funny enough, just before that, actually, when it was 6-0, she came over to take a throw and I said to her, Nikki, you've got to score because otherwise Terry will be right. So, she did. So there you go. So she listened to me and she died for the penalty. And she got that. So that was good. Because we didn't want you to get the score right because otherwise you'd be saying 6-0 every week and we can't be having that. So he says there as well, it was nice to see me walk off the pitch. Yeah, they're good friends. They came out of the ground together afterwards as well. Terry says only a few weeks ago she came out and said she wants to be Arsenal manager one day. Hope they look after her. She deserves that. No, I'm sure the club will look after her either way. If she can't play for us again, I'm sure they'll do the right thing with her. And Terry says and she didn't hide like Harry did. No, she didn't hide. She came out to say goodbye to me and to Andreas as well, actually, was outside the ground, which was nice. And Ryan says, if we do win a title and she is there, let Jordan lift the trophy. Well, I'm sure she'll lift the trophy with everybody. If she's there and we do win it, I'm sure she will, which will be nice. And Terry says, are we keeping you up? MM77 nodding off there. He's fine. He's not. I've had four and a half hours. So I should be the one dropping off, actually. Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what, before we moved on, Jonas, 100 goals over under Jonas. It's now 106, isn't it? So it's a huge goal contribution in one season.
No, it is. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it helped in a way that we had the qualifiers for the Champions League, so played a few more games than we perhaps normally would have done. But yeah, no, I mean, 100 goals, 107, as you said. I know 106, isn't it now? It was 99 before the game yesterday. So, no, it is great. And you can see why with the attacking talent that we've got in the squad. So, it's not a surprise that we've scored so many goals. But yeah, it's good for Jonas, his first seasons. That's like, Aston Wenger used to get 100 goals for the men's team every year, didn't he, in all competitions? And now Jonas is just taking that on. I mean, we used to get it before anyway, in the women as well. But no, I mean, that's a good point. And yeah, it's been exciting football that we've played. I mean, we scored 60 goals in the WSL, haven't we? 60 league goals is incredible. What 20? What game we played 20 games, haven't we? So that's 3 goals a game. Just unbelievable, really, over a WSL season. When this season's been so competitive, and poor old Chelsea, they've only scored 58. So you got a little bit sorry for them, really, because but yeah. So anyway, right. So that is the Aston Villa game, in which obviously we all enjoyed immensely, which was great fun. And we do now have an even bigger game coming up in less than it's 48 hours time, isn't it? Where we sit in, hopefully enjoying what's going to be another great game. I'm sure. Now, me and Andreas are a little bit upset about this because we should have been watching this game at the Emirates last month, March, whenever it was, but it should have been played originally. And as much as I'm looking forward to the game, I'm not looking forward to it as much as I should be, because realistically, I should be there, and we can't make it for that one, and neither can Andreas, which is a real shame. But having said that, the most important thing is that it is going ahead at the Emirates. It is going to be a big crowd. It is a massive game now. In fact, the fact they've moved it to the end of the season makes it even more important than it would have been at the time anyway. And it's all set up to be a really, really good night, isn't it? I mean, Andreas, I'm sure you're as upset and disappointed as me that we can't now be there. But having said that, it's still going to be a great night for the club, isn't it, and for the girls in particular. And it might well break the record crowd as well. I would imagine it will do, with the potential with the tickets that sold and stuff like that. But it's going to be a good night, isn't it? What are you kind of anticipating? Do you think Spurs will try their best to deny us taking it to the last day, or do you think they'll just end up not quite good enough to stop us in the form that we're in at the minute, which is good?
First of all, I'm happy for the girls that they get the chance to play again at the Emirates. And I don't know who said it, but I read this week one of the players said the Emirates is the best pitch he's ever played on. And and if I don't know how many spectators will be there. Hopefully 20,000. So they deserve it, and it's the last home game in this season, and hopefully they will win. We saw Spurs now in a short time 2 times playing Chelsea, and Chelsea was always struggling because the defense is the best part of Spurs. We said this last week or 2 weeks ago that they have one of the best defense in the league, and it will be hard to break them. But on the other side, we are in a good run now. We won all our last matches. We scored a lot of goals, and so why not scoring goals against Spurs? Of course, it will be a tough match, but we should be optimistic, and I think we will win, and we will bring it to the last day for the decision.
I mean, I think we probably will win. We'll come on to the squad prediction in a minute, but you're right, and it is great that the girls are going to play this game at the Emirates still. There was a little bit of a doubt when it got cancelled whether or not it'd have to be played at Meadow Park in the end due to the dates. I think Andreas had just read Terry's comment there. He said, "How comes Andreas looks 10 years younger tonight than Sunday? Better makeup artist than the one from the hotel he stayed in." I mean, it's just everyone looks a bit different on the screen, don't they? But I mean, Andreas is a legend, and he doesn't need to reveal his age to anybody, I'm sure. So he's looking good. He looked good yesterday. He looks good today. So there's no issue there at all. So I don't know what the problem is. But yeah, so it's great that the girls can play at the Emirates this game, and I think it is going to be. I mean, you're going, aren't you, Matt, tomorrow? Wednesday, sorry.
Yeah, I am going on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a
great night, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is going to be a great night.
Yeah, there might be smaller numbers than expected. I'm probably expecting there was similar sort of figures that we saw for the Barcelona game, if I'm honest.
Really? You think?
Yeah, it's just going to be. I just think because it's going to be a family night out, isn't it? So I think a few people coming from the local area. You'll have people that would have wanted to go to the game already. I can imagine people wanting to go. It'll be either they'll be wanting to go to this game or the game against West Ham, so that people will be a bit in a 50-50 whether or not to go to this one. A lot of people haven't been to the Emirates this season, so they might decide, well, okay, go to this one because we can get tickets for it. I'm hoping that this attracts a lot more attention. There's not just going to be me there. There's a lot of people that are going to be there. Tom, that's usually in the chat, is going to be there. There's a few other people that are going to be there from all the podcasts. So hopefully we can all meet up, do some content as well, especially for the vlog. It helps. You're shaking your head as if to say, no, don't.
No, definitely. No, definitely want that. That'd be great if you can, if you speak to some of the other guys as well. I mean, there should be a lot of people there, as you said. A lot of people are going still, which is great. And I think it will be good. I mean, I think the crowd will be bigger. I mean, I think originally for the weekend game, it was it 20-something thousand had been sold already at that point.
Yeah,
with a few days left of the game. And I know everyone can go. I think more people will go now because there's more interest in the game than there maybe was, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. I know originally it was about they were up towards the North Bank on one side. So it'll be quite interesting to see what happens. With this game, you never know. North London derby, Arsenal are definitely going to be up for this one, especially with this one. A little bit of a fun fact again. This is the third game we played against them, and it's 3 different stadiums again. Yeah, of course it will be, because we played them at Meadow Park in the Cup. We played them obviously at the Hive in the league, and now we play them at the Emirates in the return game. 3 different stadiums for the games. That's a good point as well. And we've done pretty well against Tottenham in the past. I don't think they've beaten us, have they, in the WSL? I shouldn't really say that, but it's a fact, and we can't deny it. So, but we were a little bit fortunate to get that last-minute draw at their ground, although we should have been 5-0 up at half-time in that game, as we know. So it was one of them, wasn't it? So, Andreas is right as well. Defensively is their strength, Tottenham. They don't concede a lot of goals. They don't tend to score too many. They got a 2-2 draw at the weekend, actually, which was a strange result for them. They don't get too many games like that, do they? But I think they're going to be tough to break down. We're going to have to be patient. I mean, Harry, are you going? Are you on Wednesday to the Emirates?
I am going. If anybody wants to find me, I'll be in block 16, further down towards the pitch. So there'll be no hiding. I'll be there. Just come and say hi.
I'll have to come over and say hello.
We didn't move from the place where I've got the seater tickets. We didn't move from there. We were there the entire time. We were waiting for Beth to come round. My daughter really wanted to see Beth. So we just waited there until she came round, and eventually she did. I mean, Spurs haven't won in at least 5 games or 6 games.
Yeah, that's right.
They drew yesterday. They've lost every other game for a while now. They're sort of mid-table. So they don't have Spurs winning a game isn't going to really change anything for them, but us winning a game could change massively if Man United even get a draw. So just from we're going to be hungrier. We're just going to be. So I think there's that, but we've got a stronger team. I don't know. It'll be a fun game, but I do think it'll be a comfortable win.
Do you? Comfortable?
Yeah, I think it'll be a comfortable win. Might be something like a 3-0 or something like that. That's my guess. I don't think we're going to concede. I think Manu will be in goal. I think Jonas said something about Manu had some personal things, and that's why Lydia was there. I imagine she'll be in goal. I can't see them stopping us. We're on good form right now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I mean, do you think Stina will start though? Because obviously she was on the bench yesterday, came on and got that great goal. Do you think she might start? I mean, sort of Caitlin was playing more as a centre forward in the end yesterday. Viv still dropped off. I do think her and Viv and Stina do link a bit better when Stina's playing as a centre forward. I know she didn't have a great game the previous week, but do you think she might come back into the starting lineup having scored yesterday?
Yeah, possible. I'd really like to see Stina and Viv start. I think Caitlin's on amazing form. I think if you have a front line of Caitlin, Stina, and Beth with Viv sitting slightly back, then you've got yourself a really good team there, a really good line up there. Defensively is our only weakness. I don't know where's Hafa been. She hasn't started in a while.
Injured.
She's been injured.
She's still injured then.
I don't know exactly what's happening because she's been in training, but she hasn't really been appearing in the photos recently. Just to clarify, I am in block 15. That's what I was looking for, Terry, before you ask.
Okay.
It might be block 15. I can't remember, actually.
I mean, our ticket was in block 14, actually. I've moved it on now. I've given it to someone else to go instead, rather than getting my money back. I thought that was the best thing to do. So at least someone can use it and watch the game. So, but yeah, we were in block 14, but unfortunately we won't be.
Very close. 14, 15,
yeah,
16.
You'll be closer to the halfway line. We were closer to the sort of North Bank goal because we were in the centre of Wolfsburg as well. You'd just be more of the halfway line.
I'm almost bang on the halfway line.
Yeah, be good seat that will be probably where you are. I would imagine it'll be really good, and it will be a good night. It will be. I'm sure it'll be a great atmosphere as well. And I'm not so confident it'll be a comfortable win. I've got to be honest. They don't tend to concede a lot of goals, and I don't know. I know we're scoring quite a few at the minute, but I think it's a North London derby. You said they've got nothing to play for. Technically, they haven't really in the league. They can't get top 4 or top 3 now. Sorry, they're out of that. So, but it's a North London derby. They're playing at the Emirates. The atmosphere there, I'm sure they'll raise their game, and I think it'll be a tricky game. I mean, we do need to get some score predictions, maybe. And Andreas, what is your score prediction for Wednesday? Then, are you confident that we will get the 3 points? That's the most important thing for me. Just let's win this game. I don't care if it's 1-0 or, as Terry has gone for, a big nice score there, 10-1. I don't care if it's 10-1 or if it's 1-0. Just 3 points will do. But what are you thinking, Andreas, for this one?
I saw both matches from Spurs against Chelsea, and in both matches they scored. So I think they will score against us too. And we have to be patient and believe in ourselves. As I said, we scored a lot of goals in the last matches. So just be confident we can score against Spurs too. They were 60 minutes or so, 11 against 10 versus Chelsea, and they conceded 2 goals with one player more than the opponent. So why shouldn't we score against them? We have with Beth, Caitlin in really good form. I think Katie needs a rest. I said this on Sunday. She looks like she's overplayed, played too much, and I would prefer to see Steph on left back, and in the attacking line, as you said, that's Dina and Caitlin, and then we will win 3-1. That's my prediction.
3-1 now, or 3-1 would be nice. We'll definitely take a 3-1, no question at all. I don't really want to ask Matt what he's got predictions. I'm sure it's going to be good. Come on, Matt. What you
well, this is the thing, isn't it? Is you've got, as Harry's mentioned, they're on a winless run. They couldn't have asked for a North London derby as soon as possible to try and up your hopes and try and get an upset. On the other side of that, they've come through Chelsea back-to-back. They've also played a very I'm trying to think of the best word to describe Everton at the moment. Topsy-turvy, I think that's the only way I can say it, with Everton. A couple of times this season, they've come back from goals down and got points, especially. And to see them do so well against them lot I was really happy about that. But it will also cause them a bit more time to be motivated for this game. They've had less time as well to react to this because they would have had to travel through the night, so they would have only just been recovering, whereas we would have had.
And they played later as well, didn't they? The game kicked off later, didn't it, last night as well? So they've got less recovery time. Yeah.
They would have probably been back in London by about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So they would have probably had a rest day today, and they would probably be straight back onto it tonight.
You're not going to predict a win, are you, Matt? You're not going to predict a win, are you? Surely, after all that.
No, I'm going to go. I'm tempted to. But don't. Because of my curse is to always get things wrong. I'll go with a 1-1 because the last time I predicted a 1-1, it happened. So it can't happen a second time, surely.
No, well, let's hope not. But yeah, definitely don't predict a win anyway, because that's definitely that predicts a win. So we don't want that to happen. So we'll take a 1-1 from Matt all day long. And yeah, you're probably right. You probably won't get it right twice in the season. So let's hope that's the case, and we do win the game, because we need to really. I mean, Harry, you still going for a 3-0? Is that what you're kind of thinking for this one, or as maybe as Andreas and Matt maybe talked you out of that, and when you change your mind?
I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the 1-1 was in November, so that was the start of our sort of bad run that we had until January. So I think we were in a different place at that point, and now we're much more solid. I think compared to Chelsea. Now Chelsea they've got grit, and you know that they've got grit. So for them to fight back with a person down and still win. It actually shows the weakness of Spurs, as well as the grit of Chelsea. But with Lotta, I mean, Lotta can make mistakes in the back for sure. So one mistake I think we could concede against him. I think that's possible. So I think I'll agree with Andreas on a 3-1. I think if we can open up scoring, then we're good to go, and that they might get a goal, but we can open up scoring. I think the floodgates will open. It will be 3 goals for us.
I hope so.
3-1. My prediction 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, a 3-1 would be, we said before in Andreas, 3-1. Yeah, I mean, that we'd definitely be satisfied with that without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not sure if they will score against us. We've not conceded a goal for a few games now. We're looking a lot more solid. Yes, I agree. Lotta she's got a mistake in her, but her mistakes have been a lot rarer in this recent run of games that she's played since Rafa Sousa's been out, and apart from the Chelsea game where she made a couple, but she's been a lot more focused and concentrated, and I think her form's been good actually. She wasn't really tested defensively in the last 2 games, but I do think that she has cut out as many silly mistakes as maybe she did once make. So I don't think Spurs will score, actually. I just don't think they will. As Terry rightly says in the chat, he says Spurs are as good as Amar's timekeeping. Exactly. Yeah, they're probably even worse than Amar's timekeeping, actually. So that's a good thing. And Terry says, go on, Harry, agree with me, 10-1. I don't think it'll be 10-1. I mean, we could have scored 10 yesterday, but I don't think we'll score 10 against Tottenham, who have only conceded 20 goals in 20 games that they've played. So I can't see them conceding 10 in one game, no matter how good our attack is. I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0. I think that's probably what we'll win 2-0. I don't think they'll score. I think we may have to be patient to break them down, but I think we will break them down probably in the second half, and then we'll go on and get another goal later on and seal it at 2-0. I think is how it'll go, and that'll be fine. That will set us up really, really nicely, won't it, for next weekend, the finale of what's been a great season for WSL. I mean, we'll do a show on Friday again, looking ahead to that last weekend of the season, which is going to be hopefully, obviously, if we do win Wednesday, which I'm sure we will, it will set it up nicely, won't it, for a dramatic day, not only for us, but also, not for us in Chelsea, but also the 2 Manchester clubs who are battling for that 3rd spot as well. So it's going to be, obviously the Chelsea game's got 2 teams involved that are fighting for something, and then it's obviously us and Man City as well that are trying to kind of get the results that we need to sort of get the positions that we want. So it's going to be a good finale to the season, and we can look at that on Friday a little bit more detail, looking into that game obviously for us at West Ham as well as that. So that's all. We'll do that. But that was that's the Tottenham game obviously on Wednesday, which is surely Tottenham can't spoil our season, can they? They tried last time at their ground and they nearly got away with it, but they're not going to do it again, are they? Not surely they can't. They just can't. We can't allow it to happen. Anybody else? If it was anybody else that maybe could deny us winning the league, you could almost take it, but it can't be them. Not after they just let Chelsea beat them twice. They've got, we kind of. They can't do it to us. They just can't. We can't allow it to happen. So
it won't happen. It won't happen. They're not going to win. Then no chance.
Well, even a draw that would be no good for us, really, would it? Let's be honest.
I'll just change my prediction to 2-1 to Tottenham, so then that can't happen.
Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, that's made me feel better now. Okay, brilliant. So I think we'll win now. I think we'll definitely win. We haven't got to worry now. Matt's just said
there we go.
And Terry says, "You lot are so negative." Yeah, we're negative because we don't think we'll win 10-1. Yeah, that's we're just negative because of that. But anyway, I must admit, yesterday when
it sounds
you
an awful lot like Twitter. It's like with Terry saying we're so negative because we're in second place with 1 point behind, the leaders. And if you read Twitter, you think you've been relegated.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is mad.
It really is. It's but we should be really proud. I mean, we were third place by the skin of our teeth last year.
Yeah.
Third place the year before that. So in Jonas's first season, we are 1 point behind a phenomenal team. I mean, let's hats off to Chelsea and what Emma Hayes does there. We're 1 point behind them, and all we need is them to mess up on a draw. We could still win. So I think we're good. We are good.
I agree, and I mean, we've mentioned it before, haven't we? That even if we don't manage to win the league this season, it's still been a fantastic season, a great first season for Jonas. He's a new manager into the WSL. He's learned a little bit about the league. He's learned a little bit about the players, and he's still managed to produce. We've had a really consistent, solid league season, haven't we? Yes, that spell we had either side of Christmas was disappointing, but we still so far only lost one game, and we still might not win the league with only one league defeat. I mean, that's incredible, really. And you're right about Chelsea. Unfortunately, reluctantly, we have to take we have to give them the credit that they deserve because they are a great team, as you said. They have got that extra experience, haven't they? They've been together longer. Obviously, Emma's been there a long time, and she's built that. And we're still a bit further behind, aren't we, in where we are because we've got a new manager, new players and stuff like that. But it has been a great season, and hopefully, I think we deserve something from the season. We can't win any of the cups now. I do think we deserve to win the league, but it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. It depends on, Chelsea they've got more points than us at this particular point in the season. So, but let's just hope that justice is done and Man United pop up with a result on Sunday, and we win our 2 games, and we do sneak it at the last minute, which would be fantastic. But yeah, I agree. It'll be a great season anyway, and we need to. I've enjoyed it anyway, regardless. If people want to be negative on Twitter, that's up to them. I'm not interested in that because I've enjoyed the season. We can see to get this close to winning the league in Jonas's first season is incredible. And it's like you said, 2 third-place finishes. We've been miles away, really, from Chelsea and Man City, haven't we, the last couple of seasons, if we're honest. And this season, we've closed that gap right up. And, we're not going to be far away. Even whatever happens in this last week, we're not going to be far away. And it's something good to build on next season, assuming a lot of it could depend on Viv's future, I guess, which we'll know more in the next couple of weeks, I would assume, once the season's finished. Let's hope that we've still got our next season as well. I'm talking about, obviously, getting Jordan next season. I think we all want Viv as well, don't we? So Terry says, we're all negative apart from, well, of course, no, Matt's not negative. He's positive. That's why he's changed his prediction to make sure he's being positive, really, because we know what happened. Usually at this point, Amar would set us a question, but as you can see, Amar's not here today because his timekeeping is terrible. But no, he did have something else on, so we couldn't make it. But the good news is we're not going to have to skip this section because Andreas has actually got a question for us, which I'm really looking forward to because this is going to be fantastic. So if your question's good, Andreas, you might have to take over Amar's quiz slot. if your question's better than his are. So we're looking forward to it. So give us your question then, Andreas, so we can have a little look about that and think about that. And obviously after that, then Matt can give us his chart of the week as well while we wait. So what's your question, Andreas, for this week for us? It's going to be good.
I hope it's a good question, and otherwise you will bench me for the next shows. Yeah, it's a true story and it's a funny story. It's about a player of our current Arsenal squad. It's about a special goal, and it's about 2 WhatsApp messages from the player's mum after this special goal with totally contrary content. So 3 things you have to find out: which player from our current squad, what is the story behind the facts, what special goal, why, and what were the 2 what was the content of the 2 WhatsApp messages the player got from her mom. I know it's very difficult, and I can give you a few hints.
It sounds almost like a Cluedo question. You got to get the.
It's a good. I like it. It's like a little teaser, isn't it? It's pretty good. This I like this. It's got lots of different aspects to it, which is cool. So we need to know which player it is, what the story behind the goal it is, and the messages from her mum. Two contrasting messages, right? Okay.
Yeah, just to give you a few ideas, it's not a player with English nationality.
Ah, right.
That rules out who I was thinking then.
And
rules out Beth.
And it's she's not an attacker or striker, so forget about whiff and special goals from her. And it happened in the early days of her career before she came to Arsenal.
Oh, before Arsenal. Ah, okay. Before Arsenal, right, okay.
I have a few more hints, but I won't give them right now.
No, don't give us any more hints now. That's enough hints for now. That gives us some ideas to work on, which is good. Right, okay. So it's a non-English player.
Non-English, non-attacking player.
Yes.
And it was before she came to Arsenal. It was before she joined Arsenal.
Current squad.
Sorry?
Somebody in our current squad.
Yes.
Who scored?
Oh, I think no, perhaps not.
And they scored.
No.
They haven't scored with us necessarily. They've scored.
Well, this goal was it? This goal would have been before they came to Arsenal, by the sound of it. That's what it seems like.
I think Leah Walty.
This story happened before she came to Arsenal.
I think it's Leah Walty.
It's not Leah.
I'm just going through certain players just to.
I've got an idea, and I don't know if it's right. I've got a little idea that's coming to my head. Is it Laura Wainroffer?
No.
Oh, it isn't. Okay, I'll scrap that then, because I was thinking that own goal that she scored. That might have been the story, because she scored an own goal for us, didn't she, before she joined? But
it depends what you mean by attacking.
Here's good.
Depends what you mean by attacking, because there's been a couple of players that played fullback that are wingers and they're attacking. So,
so Richard has got a good idea, but it's not Laura.
Oh, right, okay.
So you want more hints?
I'm going to have a guess. I know this is probably going to be wrong. I'm going to go with Katie McCabe. No. Okay.
You already know she's not a striker, not an attacker, and now I say she's not a midfielder and not a defender. So now
it's the goalkeepers then. Sorry.
and I heard the story personally from her. So,
you've heard this personally from her?
Yeah.
So it's somebody you know.
So it'll be a player that used to play for Bayern Munich, I would assume.
So that leaves Zinsberger.
Yes. The name is the right. It's about Manu. And Manu herself told this story.
Wow, okay. A special goal.
Yeah.
So this would have been would this been when she was at Bayern, or would it have been when she was back in Austria?
It was in her time in Austria.
Oh, okay.
In the early days of her career. And the last hint is she herself said her mom is not a football expert. Her mom doesn't know anything about football. So maybe this helps. It's Manu Zinsberger, a special goal, and 2 WhatsApp messages or SMS messages in this time she got from her mum.
I wonder if she was taking a penalty during a penalty shootout.
No, I think the fact her mum doesn't know anything about football probably suggests that her mum doesn't know she's a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Or what a goalkeeper does in relation to the game. So did her mum assume that she had scored a goal? In actual fact, she'd let in a goal. So her mum was saying, "Oh, congratulations on the goal." And in actual fact, she'd conceded a goal and she didn't know what she was talking about. Is that what happened, really?
That's it, yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she considered an own goal, not a situation when you have just your fingers on the ball and then it goes over the line. It was a real own goal, her fault. And after the match, she said she had a message from her mom who wrote, "Congratulations on your goal." And 1 or 2 minutes later, the next message from her mom came, and she wrote, "I just spoke with Dad, and he said it was probably not good that you are on this portion. So I withdraw my congratulations."
Oh, that's a brilliant story. What a story that is. That is amazing. Imagine that.
She told it to a few fans who were waiting for her to sign. And she was in a good mood and said, "You all want to hear a funny story?" And then she told this to all of us. And I've never forgotten this story.
She's quite a character as well. She's done quite a lot of stuff. The video of her shouting Tobin. There was a nice little video that she did when I can't remember, one of the other YouTubers that are out there. They did a competition with the women and with Caitlin Ford and Ruby Mace as well, and she was quite funny in that. I think she's just one of those characters in the squad that just likes to be bringing the team up a little bit, be the little bit of a joker.
Yeah, when Laura joined, there was a good video of them too when she was showing around the ground, wasn't there? That was good. You could see how her personality came across then, didn't it? Mary's personality. She does seem like she's quite a character actually. But all goalkeepers are a little bit strange, aren't they? A bit crazy. I think you have to be a goalkeeper, so she kind of fits that quite well.
Can you imagine? When she got this message from her mom, "Congratulations on your goal."
That's
funny hearing how she told it, and then 2 minutes later, "I just spoke with Dad. Maybe it was not good."
That is a brilliant story, though. That is fantastic. I wonder if her mum knows a bit more about football now. That now obviously after all those years, she's picked a few things up and realises what a goalkeeper does now. Goalkeepers don't generally score goals. If they do, it's generally not going to be a good idea to. It's not what you want to do as a goalkeeper. But that was a brilliant story actually, and it made it for a good question as well. Actually, fantastic. That is brilliant. So yeah, seems like Zinsberger gets her sense of humour and her personality from her mum clearly by the look of it. I would say, judging by that story, which is good stuff. That was great. So obviously, we're at that time of the show now where it's the part everybody looks forward to the most, and Matt is here this week, so we'll have to get ready for the latest edition. So it's going to be obviously Matt's latest player chant. Who is going to be in the spotlight this week? Which player is this song for? Do we need some music for this one this week as well? Do you think, or do you think any music would suit it?
Yeah, I think let's try that poppy one again because I think that will kind of work quite well with it.
The poppy one, okay, right. Was it this one? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Right, cool. In your own time, away you go.
Come down to Meadow Park, one glance and she'll blow your mind. Her spell can't be broken. She'll leave. Oh God, I messed it up already. Right, hold on. Oh, let me try that again.
Well, we'll start again. We'll scrub that one off. Don't worry, that won't go out live. We'll get rid of that. We'll start again.
I always do this. I need to put the words in front of me before I can see it.
Yeah, maybe you do. Yeah, that might be the right
now. I can see it now. So
right, try again. Right, go for it.
Come down to Meadow. Oh my God, I've done it again. Let's try this again. Come down to Meadow Park, one glance and she'll blow your mind. Her spell can't be broken, leaving defenders up all night. Her name is Iwabuchi. She's got the recipe for mana magic. Mana magic.
That was good actually. You finally got there in the end, and it was worth the wait actually because that was actually decent. And we did see her yesterday in the ground actually. She couldn't play obviously for whatever reason. We did see her. She was chatting to a couple of guys in the stand, so that was nice. And that was a good song actually for her. And actually, Harry's put one in the chat. Do you want to sing your song then, Harry? Because obviously you put the words in there. Do you want to give that a little blast for everybody?
We were singing that a bit yesterday. Stina Black, Stenius. She scores the goal. She scores the goals.
Brilliant. That was great as well. Yeah, they were singing that a bit yesterday. Yeah, which was good. Terry's. I'm assuming that 3 out of 10
Thanks,
is.
Terry.
That can't be from Matt's song. It was. Or was that just because he got the lyrics wrong to begin with? It was worth more than 3 out of 10.
Times about 4 or 5 takes.
That's a good song, and I'm pretty sure that. Or was it 1 out of 10? What's 1 out of 10? I don't think either of those two songs were 1 out of 10, were they? They're both really good stuff. I mean, yeah, Matt got the words wrong, but I mean, it's a new song, isn't it? So, you got to expect him to not get it right every time. Oh, here we go. That's better. 8.5. Is that for the happiest song, is it, Terry? 8.5 out of 10, because that was good. They were singing in the ground yesterday as well, which was nice. But Matt's song was good, actually.
Here, Andreas would have definitely heard my daughter singing.
Yeah.
There Was a Girl from England.
What was she singing?
Beth Meads.
Was she?
There Was a Girl from England. Me-do.
Oh, fantastic.
I always heard her, Red Army, Red Army.
I don't know if you ever caught this a couple of weeks ago when we were there. I forget which game it was now, but she was doing that Red Army, but she doesn't stop. She just keeps going, which is quite so funny. And then in the dugout, you got Stina and Viv both laughing. They're absolutely creasing. They're just. So when I saw Stina yesterday, I said, "This is the Red Army girl." She goes, "Oh, was that you?"
Oh, brilliant stuff! I mean, yeah, she's quite a character, isn't she? Your daughter, actually, she's quite a character.
She is a character. She really. Oh, you met her yesterday, didn't you? She's
fantastic. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, she's a big gooner. We'll have to get her on the show one point.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely need to. I can see her in like many years' time. She's going to be the new Maria, isn't she? Let's be honest.
She's going to be the new Maria.
I think that's what she's destined to be in life, isn't she? The new Maria, definitely. I can see that happening. Definitely, no doubt. Definitely, she's definitely a character, and it's great. How much she enjoys the football as well, which is great. Getting involved in it all. How old is she? She can't be very old. What's she? 7, 6 or 7?
No, she's 5.
Is she 5? Wow.
Yeah, she first came when she was 2. It was her first match that she ran on the pitch with Beth, and she's just been a Beth fan ever since. Massive Beth fan and Viv fan. Yeah, she's. If we do an earlier show, then she can come along and do some chants for us.
No, that would be fantastic. She's definitely a good character. Brilliant stuff. That was yesterday. She was definitely getting involved in it all, which was good to see. But yeah, I mean, that'd be good actually. Yeah, it is. It's good that she's got into it so young as well. And that she loves it so much as well, which is great. So yeah, we'll definitely have to get her on. She'll have to come up with her own chant. We can have our own chant a week as well. Maybe she can have her own little section every week doing a chant. I'm sure she's got loads actually already.
Well, I don't know. There was she'd done a Miedema chant when she was 2. When she was 2.5 years old, she'd done a Miedema chant. That went quite viral on Twitter. Not very imaginative, to be fair.
Right.
But it's what a lot of people chant now when they singing out Miedema.
Is that one where she tears them apart?
No, she just goes Miedema, 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 Miedema. That's what she does. That's what she did. She was only 2 at the time.
Well, I mean,
it kind of fits Viv because there's Viv's not the most excited person when she scores. So
no.
We were all a little bit let down by the fact that she didn't celebrate like Rebecca showed her, but
yeah, I mean, but she was struggling to do that celebration when they were practicing it anyway, so I'm not surprised she couldn't really.
Well, you saw a celebration did she score like 50 goals for the Netherlands and she done a roly-poly, and it was like the most awkward roly-poly you've ever seen.
Yeah,
she done it for her brother.
Celebrating isn't her thing, though, is it? So she always looks awkward celebrating. The only one that she didn't maybe look awkward when she scored the first game of the season against Chelsea. That was quite just a normal celebration. That was quite good, wasn't it? But yeah,
fist pump. I think it was a fist pump, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a normal celebration that you do if you scored a goal, and it's unusual for her to even do that, isn't it? Because normally she doesn't celebrate at all. But yeah, I mean, I suppose you could have done that Saka one yesterday, but it didn't matter too much, did it, in the end? I was a bit disappointed she didn't get a hat-trick, actually, because it would have been nice. Actually, I wanted her to score another 5 goals so she overtakes Sam Kerr and takes the golden boot off her, because she doesn't deserve it, Sam Kerr. So I'm hoping that Viv, maybe in these last 2 games, let's just get Viv up front. Let her goal length, doesn't matter. Just let her score us 5 goals in these next 2 games. Because obviously Sam Kerr's only got 1 game left. Viv's got 2 to get them 4 goals back. So she needs to bang in a few goals, I reckon. And see if you can catch her up, because that would be quite funny. They've given Sam Kerr Player of the Season because she got the golden boot, or they think she's going to get the golden boot, and then Viv takes it off her last game of the season. That would be quite funny, wouldn't it?
That'd be awesome.
It would, wouldn't it? So that's what we need to happen. So everybody, I know obviously we want to win the games first and foremost, but when we go 1-0 up or 2-0 up, we won the game. Just everybody pass to Viv constantly. Let Viv stand in front of the goalkeeper and just score as many goals as she can. And then the look on Sam Kerr's face when she loses a golden boot will be quite funny. So we need to make that happen, actually, because that'd be really good. I was hoping yesterday in the second half she was going to go on and get 3 or 4 more, like she did in that Bristol City game all those years ago. That's what I was kind of hoping. And she'd have overtook her yesterday, but obviously she didn't anyway. And Jonas keeps taking her off as well, which is a bit annoying. No, just keep her on the next 2 games. Don't take her off, Jonas. Just keep her on the pitch. Just let her score the goals, because she needs to score 5 in the next 2 games at least, so that she can overtake her, because that's what we want to happen. Because it would serve Sam Kerr right if she didn't win the golden boot again. Or maybe just let Stina score like 12 in these next 2 games. That'll be all right. Stina wins. Which would be good as well. But yeah, so that was some great chance there, actually. That's the fact we had 2 for the price of 1 tonight, which is even better, actually, which is good. And that Stina one was actually sung obviously yesterday quite a bit in the game, which was good as well. So that's nice to do that as well. So good stuff. So obviously it's another massive week, isn't it, for the Arsenal women? We've had lots of big weeks all through the season, actually, and here we are going into the last week, and we've still got a chance of winning the league. I mean, we'd all have taken that, wouldn't we, back in August, September time when the season was starting? I'm sure we would. We'd all have loved to be sitting here at this point saying we've still got a chance of winning the league. Maybe not as big a chance as we would like, but we've still got a chance. And I mean, overall, we will talk about the season more, not next week. We'll wait until the season, maybe the week after. We'll do an end of season show looking back on it all. But I mean, Andreas, we said it before, regardless of what happens this week, we should be proud, shouldn't we, of what they've achieved this season, how far forward that we've moved, the football that we've played, and some great moments and some great memories, hasn't there been? It's been a great season anyway, regardless of this next week.
Yes, of course, we have developed during the season. Most of the time we played attractive football. We scored a lot of goals. Jonas brought in a few new players, and they settled very quick into the team. And we are competitive for the title until the last week. We don't know the last match, but the last week. And even Amar Hayes said, all respect to Arsenal, they are making it very difficult for us to defend the title. So even if we are runners up, and probably we will be, but we had a good season, and it was really fun to watch the team, to watch them playing, to watch them develop, and I think there is. We are creating something. So if Jonas brings in two more players that fit in his thoughts, his system, so that can be something possible next season. And we are not too far away from the best teams, even from the best teams in Europe. We spoke about it yesterday. Barcelona lost 2-0 at Wolfsburg. So. Yeah, Wolfsburg is a strong team, and we lost there, but we played 1-1 at home, and we were dominant in the first half. So that's what I mean. We are not too far away from the best teams in Europe. We are a bit behind, but we are developing, and therefore it's a season in which, after which I would say we can be satisfied. Let's hope we will win the title, but if not, we say a very good season, not the perfect season, but a very good season. And yeah, let's hope for further development in the next seasons.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, because I don't think realistically at the start of this season, before a ball had been kicked, I don't think any of us expected us to win the league or even possibly be as challenged, as strong as we have all through the season. So, yes, obviously we'll be disappointed if we finish second, because we were top of the table for so long. We hoped and we were dreaming, wasn't we, that we were going to win it. But yeah, the progress has been clear for all to see, and hopefully it should be the start, as you say, the start of something that we can build. We can get ourselves back to where we used to be in the women's game, which was the very, very top. And that's where we want to try to get back again. And I think we're on the right track. And this season's shown the progress that we're making. We've had a much better league season in the last 2 seasons, and things are looking good. And yeah, I'm not giving up all hope yet. We obviously Friday we'll talk about next weekend, but I haven't given up all hope yet. I still think we've got a chance, and that's all we can hope for. We've got a chance. It's not often you go into the last week of the season with a chance of winning the league, is it really? Realistically, you don't always get an opportunity. So, I mean, Matt, what have you made of it overall? I mean, obviously we will talk about the season in more depth in a couple of weeks' time, but would you say that regardless of where we finish, we can only finish first or second now, by the way, we can't finish any lower than that due to the the points that we've got. So how would you view the season overall? Do you think it's been a good season, or do you think maybe there are obviously things we can improve on for next year as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. We've been there through the ups and downs. 2 of those were games that I've been to. Some of them a lot more fans would have been to. I've been going to all the away games this season. Harry, I'm sure you've been to some of the home games as well throughout the season. It's been a roller coaster. I don't think we expected to be where we are right now. As the saying goes, que sera, whatever will be, will be. We're not off to Wembley, maybe next season, but fingers crossed, it does look like it's a bright future no matter what.
It does. I mean, we did go to Wembley this season, of course. Let's not forget, even though it didn't go particularly well, we did go to it. Although that was technically last season, it was this season it was played. So, that's one good thing, I suppose, that came from it in a way. I mean, Harry, I know you've enjoyed the season, of course. It's been a great season, and it has been a season of progress, hasn't it? Which I guess has to be considered a good thing, doesn't it? Regardless now of what happens this week.
I'm really happy with the season. Really, really happy. If you look at the last couple of seasons with Joe, we were finishing third. Last season, by the skin of our teeth, by 1 point, we were third.
Yeah.
So we could have even missed out on Champions League. The season before that, Chelsea were the major outliers as the winners. So. With Man City being, well ahead of us, we weren't contenders for the title in the last couple of years. So we've got a new manager. It's his first season. There's ups and downs. He's brought on new players in the January transfer, and he's really turned the team around to the point that we are 1 point behind the leaders, assuming we win on Wednesday. So you cannot complain with that. It's a phenomenal result. So, irrespective, I think we've played. We deserve to win the season. I think there's still a chance that we will, whether we do or we don't, to get second place by 1 point. You cannot complain with that. It's Champions League. It's what Viv wants. She wants to be playing Champions League and competing. I think we've got the transfer season in over the summer. So, likely we'll bring in more players. The future's looking very, very bright. It's been an excellent. I absolutely cannot fault Jonas at all. I know that a lot of negativity out there, but it's unwarranted.
Yeah, no, you want 100% right. I agree, and for a first season coming into a club like Arsenal, when there's a lot of expectation in women's football for Arsenal anyway, generally, and to come in your first season, there's been quite a turnaround of players. A few left, a lot of new players have come in. He's had to mould the team, and it is a work in progress still. But look at the results that we've had, and I totally agree. If we do finish 1 point behind Chelsea over the whole season, I think that's been a fantastic effort from everybody, and it needs to be applauded. If, on the other end, we manage to win the league by 1 point on the last day, then it'll just be an amazing finish to what has been. I totally agree with all the comments here that it has been a great season, and it needs to be celebrated regardless of whether we come first or second. We need to be celebrating what we've witnessed this season, and look on it hopefully as the start of something really good happening over the next few years with this manager and this group of players. As Andreas said, we need to add some players in the summer. I'm sure we will, and we can go on from there. Terry says a great show, Richard, Andreas, Harry the voice, and Matt as well. Much appreciate a very enjoyable show. Many thanks coming to you, women gunners. And he says, hopefully Matt and Harry enjoy all 10 goals Arsenal score tomorrow on Wednesday. Take care, Neil. So, well, I mean, if I'm sure if Arsenal score 10 goals, we all enjoy it, but I'm not sure if that's going to quite be the case. And we've got a comment here from Vivi. Says, does anybody know about contract renewals for players, i.e. how much players are getting for new contracts? That's a pretty interesting question. She says a bit it's a serious question. We don't really talk about this key issue in women's football, but no one has a problem talking about it in men's football. Any ideas? But I mean, that is a good point, because the contracts that women's players get, the transfer fees between women's clubs isn't as spoken about, is it, as it is in the men's game yet? And possibly because it isn't quite as interesting at this point in time as it is in the men's game. The women's players aren't generally earning millions and millions and millions of pounds, are they? Let's be honest. They're not. So that's probably why. I mean, I don't know too much about the contracts of the players or anything like that. It's not, I don't know if it did. Andreas, have you got any idea sort of contracts that players get in the women's game? I mean, I know some of the big players, Sam Kerr's supposed to be the highest paid player in the English game. I'm not sure what that means if, in relation to the men's game, but I don't know what the players get really. I was just looking at their cars yesterday, actually, and kind of trying to judge roughly what sort of contract they had from the cars they were driving. But we don't know, do we? I mean, does anybody know? Andrew, have you got any idea at all what sort of contracts they get?
Beth, I know Beth had she had a Q5 last year. She's now got the electric version of it.
Yeah,
she's doing all right, but I genuine answer. I think the reason that it's not talked about is frankly because it's embarrassing the differentiation between women's and men's football, because it's something to go, so and so in Ronaldo's here for 50 million or 80 million pounds or blah blah blah, and everyone's like, wow. And if you were to compare it to the most prolific striker in the history of women's football, Vivianne Miedema, you go, oh, she's 250,000. It just doesn't compete. It'd be embarrassing to say that. So I think it would. It's
embarrassing. I think it's more embarrassing for the fact that men are getting paid as much as they are, as opposed to the women not. Both. Yeah. And it needs to be. I mean, funny enough, we were talking about this earlier actually on the drive back down today, and I suppose that the issue is more than anything. Women's football and women's sport in general doesn't have the same sponsorship deals, doesn't have the same outside money coming into it, does it? I know Sky have now got involved in the WSL, which is great, and hopefully that will start to change. But so far, the money's not there, the crowds aren't there. I mean, you're looking in the Premier League. Even an average game between two mid-table teams in the Premier League, you're going to get virtually a full out stadium, 30,000 or whatever, 35,000 in the WSL. The smaller stadiums, but even when Matt was talking about the attendance possibly for Wednesday night being somewhere like 12,000, 15,000 at the Emirates between Arsenal and Tottenham, and this is the reason why the women's players aren't going to be paid anywhere near what the men are being paid, because the money coming that's generated in the men's game is so much more, and that's why there's the money there to pay them. And it's not like that in the women's game yet. I do think it's evolving, and the Sky deal is going to help, and maybe that's going to be in a few years' time. We'll start to see that. And there's players now that played at the beginning of the Premier League that have played before the Premier League that said they maybe missed out a little bit on the real big bucks that came a bit later on, just because of the timing of when they played the game and to when all the money came in. And it's going to be the same after with the women's game now. There's going to be a lot of players now that are maybe getting towards the end of their career. The money's going to start coming in, and they're going to maybe miss out on those real big contracts that other players in the future may well get. Your daughter, for example, Harry, could be one of the ones who ends up getting one of them big contracts in,
Let's hope. Let's hope. That's my pension plan.
Exactly.
So, the thing is I talked to a lot of people about this, and I talked to a lot of people who have no idea about women's football. They just don't understand it, or my personal opinion, and I could well be biased. I much prefer women's football. I think it's better quality football. It's a better atmosphere, and for many, many reasons, that's the reason I support it more than I do the men's side. But the inequality is palpable, and it's when you talk to a child. So when I talk to my son says to me, Daddy, why don't the women's play at the Emirates. I don't understand. And when I'm trying to explain to him what you just said about the sponsorship, he's like, but it doesn't make sense, Dad. It doesn't make sense. Why don't they? It's the same game. And he's so spot on, because when you can't explain it, and the only real explanation is because it's discriminatory. That's the truth. Because the sponsorships, it's just, that ultimately that's what it comes down to. And that's the reason that it's not talked about. Because
you're right. You're 100% right. You are.
You know what? When the financial stuff does come out, it's always Swiss Ramble who does the Arsenal accounts, and they do really good analysis. So from there, you can sort of work out the player contracts and how much they're all on. So from there, with the sponsorship and everything like that, I think this season you might see next season going on that a lot more will go towards it. It'll be interesting to see how much some of these players are on, that's for sure.
I mean, it would, and we know there's going to be massive differences between, even players in the men's game playing in the third tier are probably on more than a lot of the WSL women are getting paid at this moment in time. I would imagine a lot of them will be, and that shouldn't be happening. But again, it comes down to it's a business at the end of the day, isn't it? And women's football, it hasn't up until now generated a lot of money. The attendances are low. You're getting sometimes less than 1,000 people attending games in the past, and even at the top level. And it's only been a lot of the clubs have only been full-time professionals quite recently in football terms. And
look at Barcelona their last two matches.
Yeah,
but broke every record. I mean,
it is. Yeah, but this is still a new thing, isn't it? This wasn't happening 3 or 4 years ago anywhere. And it's still it's still evolving, isn't it? And there's more money coming into it now with the TV deals. And I do think that it's going to be a similar situation to what happened in the Premier League. When the Premier League started, it took 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years until suddenly, the money started coming in through the TV money and other stuff outside. And I think the same is going to happen in the women's game. It's just a long way behind at the moment because the men's game is 25, 30 years ahead, isn't it, in that process? Yeah. And I don't think it will happen. Will it ever reach the same level? I don't know. We can hope.
On the plus side, our membership is still cheap. So...
Yeah,
no, we're not playing
to lose the whole of it, getting the photos, getting the players to sign these things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could see yesterday, right? And Beth Mead, right, is an absolute legend. She stayed out on the pitch in the cold for ages after the game, signed stuff for everybody, had pictures of everybody, and that's just fantastic, right? And the men's football have never done that. Yes, they'll sign a few things when they're walking out to the bus, but they'll never stay behind for an hour after the game on the pitch. And I know it's different now. Even in the old days, they never used to do that, And it wasn't just Beth. Beth stayed out there the whole time, but all the other players were there as well. They all gave their time, and they do it all the time. Like they give their time to the fans. And I'm hoping that when the money does come in and things change, we don't lose that. But I just feel it's inevitable that we will. How much longer are we going to be at games and able to get that interaction? I mean, we were chatting to players on the pitch after the game. We were just chatting to them about anything, and it was brilliant. It's brilliant to be able to do that, isn't it? And you used to be able to do that to the men's team to a certain degree, but nothing like it is with. And I don't want to lose that. And if it means that it has to stay slightly smaller for that reason, do we want to risk losing everything just to get the equality on the wages for the players, or do we want to? Yeah, it's a balance. Yeah. It is. And it's difficult.
It's selfish for us, isn't it?
With the fans, much more. When I asked Lotta yesterday, could you sign my shirt? She said, of course. And then I said, I have to take off my jacket first. And I took off my jacket, I turned around, and then she saw that I have number 3 and her name, and she said, wow, that's me. Thank you so much. Imagine a men's player, he wouldn't react this way. No. If you ask them, would you sign my shirt? But just wait until I take my jacket off. He would go away. And she thanked me for having her name on my shirt. It's fantastic. And
it is. And even when we chatted to Beth afterwards, Beth was thanking us. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you just produced that performance and you scored that great goal. You know what I mean? We want to say thanks to you for that. I mean, she's like, no, thank you for being here and supporting us. And that's just amazing. It's just incredible, really. And that's what women's football's about. And I don't care what the players earn, not really. And I know obviously they do, I'm sure. But overall, I don't want to be bogged. And it isn't talked about. And that is a very good question. It isn't talked about. And at this moment in time, that shouldn't be important, really. Let's enjoy the women's game for what it is. Let's hope we can help it to grow along with everything else. The money that's coming in is going to make it grow. And let's hope naturally it does grow as it should do. And it gets to where it needs to be. Let's not compare it to the men's game necessarily, because it's the same sport, but it's different because it isn't. Men are built differently to women. Women the men's game is going to always be fast, always be more physical, and that's fine. But the women's game is what it is, and it needs to be appreciated for what it is. And sometimes I don't think it should be compared to the men's game. I think that's wrong because it's not the same spectacle. It isn't. It's a different experience of being in the ground, isn't it? We know that. I mean, I've been to plenty of men's games and women's games, and the difference it is almost like a different sport. It isn't a different sport, but it feels like it is sometimes when you're there because the game is different on the pitch. It's a different experience in the stands. And the whole thing is different, and I like the fact that it's different. If it was the same, why would you? You need to have differences in your life. You need to have different things that are a different experience because it enriches everything. And I think women's football is great as it is. Yes, it needs to be backed better. It needs more support. It needs to be promoted better. It needs to be better all-round product as the men's game is. But let's not get bogged down with how much they earn and comparing it, because I don't think that's fair and I don't think that's the right way to go. I mean, I'm sure some of those players are doing okay out of it, and I'm sure they've got a great life. They've got a great job, doing something they love, getting paid for it, and got that adulation from a generation of fans, young fans like your daughter Harry, for example, absolutely adores all those girls. And they've got that, haven't they? They've got. I mean, I'd swap that. I don't care if I mean, I might be earning more than them. I don't know, but I would swap that lifestyle, what they've got, for any amount of money, because that is just unbelievable. It's an unbelievable experience.
Before I forget, did any of you see Heather O'Reilly there?
No,
I didn't see her. No,
but you could hear her. You could hear her when she was chanting for Beth at one point. Through that match, yeah.
I saw it on Twitter.
Very quiet, but all you can hear is Heather O'Reilly just shouting at Beth through it. It's quite funny.
I had Maria a few times. I mean, Maria's quite loud, though, isn't she? So you tend to hear her, no matter where you are in the world. You can usually hear her, which is good. We've got there. So Aviva was saying there. So if Viv's contract is renewed, it's 250,000. I think that 250,000 that wasn't an actual figure, was it, Harry? Was that just a figure that you came up with?
Actually, I think I might have read that somewhere, but like we said, they don't get paid enough, and they should be paid more. But let's not dwell on it. It's changing.
You're right. You're right, exactly. Phoebe says Jonas must be on a lot, and just googled his salary and it's 42,000. Well, there you go. I mean, I'd be Arsenal women's mentor at 42,000. I would take that on tomorrow, actually. So if you're out there, Arsenal, and you want to, and you do look like getting rid of Jonas at any point, I'll take the job for. I'll take it for 40,000. I'll save you some money. How does that sound? But don't sack him yet because he's doing really good. But maybe one day, we'll see. And there's another point there. Vivi says US players are on 500k. So no, I know that there's money in the US. We know that. We know there's money over there.
They structure their deals differently as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they've got like a draft thing, haven't they, where the players get selected and stuff like that. But,
US women are a lot better than US men in football.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, they're paid a lot more. Yeah, because it's different, isn't it? It's a lot more. Again, that's all down to sponsorships. It's all down to the way the game's promoted. It's totally different, isn't it? And in this country, and particularly in Europe in general, the men's game is the priority, isn't it? It's the focus, the majority of it, and we need to get that closer together. We do, and I think it's happening, and it's great that it is happening, and it's great that we are. We play a little part in it all. We played a little part in it this season, helping to promote the women's game a bit more. I'm sure we have, and hopefully we can carry on. We can carry on doing that. And Vivi says a fair point. I don't watch men's football as I have no interest watching people who earn 200k. Yeah, but you see, you do seem very focused on the money that they earn, right? And I can understand why. But don't let that stop you enjoying the game. Sometimes men's football annoys me for lots and lots of reasons that I could stand here all night and tell you about. But ultimately, I don't necessarily look at a player and think, well, they're earning £5 million a year, so I don't want to watch them. I appreciate the sport and what they do and how they, stuff like that, the ability that they've got and things like that. And I just appreciate that rather than worrying too much about what they earn, because it's not me that's paying them, so I don't really care. If I'm totally honest, I don't pay them, so let them get on with it. They deserve, as far as I'm concerned, they make money for the clubs. They deserve what they get. Women should get paid more. We all agree with that, and let's hope that does happen. Vivi says, we all love Maria. Yeah, of course we love her. Yeah, she's an absolute legend. She waved to me yesterday, so I was quite pleased about that, actually. So we do all love Maria. But yeah, I mean, we've obviously got the new Maria, haven't we? Harry's daughter is going to be the new Maria, I'm sure, in years to come, which we look forward to. Because she needs a successor, doesn't she, Maria? So that's maybe we've got one in lined up ready, which would be nice. So yeah, but no, I mean the money is an issue, but yeah, it isn't talked about enough, and maybe there's a reason why it isn't. And as Terry rightly says, the problem is money always ruins everything in life and sport. Well, yeah, you're not wrong. It does tend to cause more problems than it solves a lot of the time. But we all need money, unfortunately. I need to get a bit more money so I can go back and watch some more games, because it's not cheap to travel and everything else. Luckily, the tickets are still cheap, and that's one good thing, isn't it, about women's football? But Harry, if you want them to get paid as much, would you be willing to pay £30-40 a ticket to watch the women if it meant the women got paid equal to the men? Would that be a fair cop out for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the the reality is if you want equality, you gotta pay more somewhere. You got to take it back from somewhere else. So the people who are earning loads need to earn less, and people like us need to pay more. So it's a bit of a you have to be prepared to do that. It's a bit like taxes, but on the flip side, we have to appreciate what we have right now, and like you just said, we've got access. It's a lot cheaper. It's not more affordable. It's better for the kids. So let's not complain too much.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Grateful for what we've got.
Yeah, for that equality that we're looking for to a certain degree is going to mean, like you said, you have to give from one side and take from another, and it's going to affect that as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Usually, nobody wants to be the one who dips the hand in their pocket. But if I'm going to say I want everything to be equal, I have to be able to say I'm willing to dip my hand in my pocket, and so I will say that I will do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily. I don't think even men's football generally now that there's more caps on prices of tickets. I don't think it's that expensive actually now. Really, I don't. It's like you can get tickets for away games for the Arsenal men, 30 quid. The club do subsidise some of that, but it's 30 quid, which I don't think is massively expensive. If you compare it to the women's tickets yesterday, was what, 6 quid or whatever to get in, which is great. But I'd be quite prepared to pay 25 quid, 30 quid for that, because it's great and it's worth it for me. It'd be worth that money, wouldn't it? I think personally. But yeah, would everybody agree? I don't know. At the moment, the crowds are low enough. They don't want to turn people away by putting the prices up today. So it's one of them. At the minute, it's in a little bit of a transitional period that we're in with it. But I do think things will change in the next 5 years. And I'm sure in 5 years' time, this conversation would be totally different that we'd be having about it all, actually, because I think things would have changed a lot in 5 years. Some things for a lot better, and maybe some things not quite for the better. But that's been the same with men's football for quite a long time, isn't it, really? For all the improvements that there's been in certain areas, we've lost certain other things along the way, haven't we? And unfortunately, that might be as you said, that might be the price we have to pay to get women's football where it deserves to be in terms of priority in people's lives, because it does deserve to be higher, I think, personally. But anyway, that's all for the future, actually, isn't it? That's stuff that we'll be looking at over the next few years, I'm sure, as things do change and develop in the women's game. But yeah, for now, we just enjoy it for what it is, and it is great. It's a great experience. And I've seen so many people say, "Oh, I don't know why you like women's football. It's rubbish, all this, that, and the other." All I'd say to anybody is experience it for yourself first, and then tell me that you think it's rubbish. Go to some games, take it in, see what it's like yourself. Don't just watch it on telly, or don't just watch 5 minutes and say, "Oh, it's rubbish, I'm not going to," actually experience it for yourself, because it's great. And, there's lots to be enjoyed about it all. And so, yeah, don't judge it until you've tried it, if you like. I've got a lot of stickers. I'm going to some of the Euro games in the summer. What are you going to that for? What are you going to that for? What a waste of time. Well, no, it's not a waste of time. It's actually going to be really good, and it's going to be
amazing.
Fantastic. So, yeah,
I've got tickets to the finals.
Have you got the final ticket? Have you?
Yeah, I've got tickets to the finals. I really wanted to go to the Netherlands games, but they're all up north, so it's just not practical. Yeah. Otherwise, I 100% would be there.
I've got tickets to the first game, England-Austria at Old Trafford. I've got tickets to Holland against Sweden at Sheffield. We're going to that game. That's going to be fantastic. I'm also going to see a friendly, actually, England against Holland in June, just before the Euros start at Leeds. I'm going to that one.
Yeah, I wanted to go to that one too. It's just a bit too far.
Yeah,
timing-wise, it's not convenient.
Yeah, I mean, it's handier for us. Obviously, we live in the north, so it's quite it's not too bad. And I've also got tickets for the semi-final at Sheffield as well, which, if the fixtures work out, could actually be England against Holland in the semi-final at Sheffield as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I know Matt's got a ticket for the final as well. I couldn't get one. We tried to get tickets for the final, sold out. We just couldn't get them, gutted, because that was the big one. Obviously, we wanted to go to. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But it's going to be a great tournament. You're right. I'm really looking forward to it. Are you going to any other games in, Harry, or just the final?
No, just that one. I still like to try and get to a Netherlands game, but I know it's not possible just because they're all in Sheffield, and I've got too much going on, so I'm not going to make it. But there you go. It's one of those things.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're going to that Netherlands-Sweden game should be some game.
I'm hoping Netherlands makes the finals.
Don't say that, because if they'll have to play England in the semi-final, and then England can't play Holland in the final. I don't think, the way the draw is. I'm pretty sure they can't.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh, right then. But that would have been a good final, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. England
that would be an awesome final. That would have been the ultimate one.
But that's looking like that could be the semi-final, which I've got tickets for. So I'm kind of hoping it might be the semi-final if it can't be the final. So it'll be a good game nonetheless. Vivi says, women's football is much faster than men's. It's non-stop for 90 minutes. It is non-stop for 90 minutes. You don't get all the play acting rolling around, and the ball's in play a lot longer, isn't it, in the women's game? That's a good point. It is. That's pretty. It is a really good point, actually. Terry says, take the money from the men's team. Don't ruin what we have now. maybe the men's team should just donate half the money to the women's team, and then things can stay as they are, and we don't have to wait too much later. But that'll never happen, will it? But yeah, that's a slightly bigger issue, maybe. But no, the Euros is going to be amazing. Actually, I'm really looking forward to that. I wish I could get some more tickets for some more games, actually, but I don't think I'll be able to now. But I'll be jealous of you at the final, certainly. Anyway, regardless of whether England are there or not, I will be jealous of you too at Wembley and all the others that are there as well. But the opening game is going to be good at Old Trafford, so I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be good. But yeah, so that is a slightly different night show this week on the Monday due to various different circumstances. But it's good to change the night to get Harry on as well, because we do like Harry on the show. He can't make it as often on a Friday, unfortunately, but hopefully we can get you back on again very, very soon. Andreas, as always, thank you very much for joining us. Glad you had a safe journey home as well yesterday or this morning, which was good. So we'll let you. Get off to bed, because catch up on your jet lag from the flight. That's a long way that you have to fly. Have you enjoyed the show again?
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I hope you enjoyed my question about Manu. And you will always remember this story when you see her.
Yeah, no. Well, I wish I'd known about it yesterday when she came out when I spoke to her about it, maybe. But, anyway, that was fantastic. Obviously, Amar's going to be worried now about the quiz in the future. He's got a lot to live up to next week, hasn't he? Now after that, really, to match a question like that. So he's got his work cut out now this week. Amar, so we'll see what he can come up with. Matt as well. Again, thanks for coming on. You enjoyed it. A good song as well this week, which we liked.
Yeah, it's been good as always. It's always nice to talk to everyone, and a nice little bit of a catch up with Harry. It's been, I think, last one show we did together, Harry, was January, February time, around then. So it was nice to catch up a little bit, and it'd be nice to say hello to each other at the North London Derby as well. So it's going to be an interesting week, that's for sure, and I'm looking forward to it.
No, it's going to be a very, very good, exciting week. Stressful week, maybe a little bit, but it's going to be a really good week. And this is what it's about, isn't it? When you're a football fan, you want to enjoy these moments, don't you? Because challenging for the titles and stuff like that, and being involved in it is exciting, and it's going to be good this week, I'm sure. We look forward to that. Don't forget, Matt, as well. Try and if you do meet Harry at the Emirates on Wednesday, get some pictures and some videos and stuff like that. We need to add all that to the channel as well. And Harry as well, absolute pleasure as always to have you on. I know you can't make it as regularly as the other guys, but it's great to have you on when you do. It was obviously great to meet you yesterday as well.
Thank you very much, and yeah, hopefully we'll meet again soon.
Yeah, no, I'm sure we will. I'll say, unfortunately, not on
I'll
Wednesday.
be at the West Ham game. I'm going to that. It's my first away game.
You are going to West Ham? Well, see, the thing is, I'm still kind of umming and ahhing about that, because obviously I want to go, because especially if we win Wednesday, that could be the big day, and I don't want to miss it. But having just gone down obviously to London this week. Getting again next week is going to be tricky, if I'm honest. But I'm going to see what I can do. I would like to be there, obviously, regardless of whether we win the league or not. It'd be great to be there because it's going to be such a great day, isn't it, with everything that's going on.
Plus, Lisa Evans is there, isn't she? So
yeah, Lisa will be there. Yeah, it is always nice to see her, and that would be nice. But yeah, I do want to go. I'm just not sure I'm going to be able to at this moment in time, but I'm going to see what I can do. No doubt on Sunday morning, I wish I was there, and I'll be regretting it if I don't. That's the way I look at it. So I'm going to try and make it, but probably not, unfortunately. Terry says there, cheers, that's great show. Enjoy your week. See you all soon. Yep, I'll see you all soon. I will be back on the channel tomorrow for the Tuesday clinic. We'll be looking back on Arsenal's win against West Ham yesterday, and also looking ahead to their weekend's game against Leeds. One or two other little issues as well that we'll talk about. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Got some guests joining me for that, so please join me for that. And of course, Wednesday, North London derby at the Emirates. Arsenal against Tottenham. That is going to be absolutely epic. So I'll be doing a watch along of that because unfortunately I can't go, which I'm still annoyed about. But I'll do the watch along, and I'm sure that'll be good. I will enjoy it. So if you are around for that, please join me for that. Is it 7:15 kickoff or something? Silly, isn't it? It's early, isn't it?
7:15, yeah.
Yeah, 7:15, yeah. So I'll probably go live about 7 with all the team news and stuff, and then we'll go into the game. So that's going to be good on Wednesday. And then next weekend, of course, they're playing on the men and women are playing on a Sunday again, aren't they? Why do they do that? Play them on the same day? It's ridiculous. It's a whole weekend of 2 different days. Put one of them on a Saturday, one on a Sunday. Stop being silly. So I'll try and see what I can. If I don't get to go down to West Ham, I will obviously do coverage of the game and everything else. I'll probably do the Arsenal game and the Chelsea game on simultaneously. And we'll be keeping up to date with both of them as we go along because it could be quite a big day if I'm not at a game. And obviously the Arsenal Leeds game as well afterwards. I'll probably look at doing something for that as well if I'm not too upset after the first one. So loads coming up on the channel as always, so please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for the Tuesday clinic, which is going to be good as well. So thank you to Andreas as always, thank you to Matt and to Harry as well. So it feels like we're more real now because we've all met each other in real life now, haven't we? So it kind of feels more real now, doesn't it? We're not just virtual people, we're actually real people that we've physically met and spoken to, which is good. And Amar as well, obviously we've met Amar as well, so it's like we're all together now. We're all like proper people. It feels good, and that's how you rightly said. We have to make sure we do again as well soon. I'm sure we will. Maybe not till perhaps next season now, but I'm sure we'll sort something out. But it feels much better now. So we've all met each other. It's good. It's good fun, and it's a nice little community that we've built, hasn't it, here on the channel as well. And yes. Within the Arsenal, so that's good as well. So thanks obviously to Andreas, to Matt, and to Harry again for coming on. Brilliant stuff as always. Thanks to all you guys in the chat as well. Thanks to everyone watching. Please like before you go. If you are new, please subscribe as well. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and we'll be back, of course, on Wednesday for the North London derby. Aston Villa against Tottenham. Big game, really big game. Well, maybe we'll win 10-1, and then Terry will get a score right for once. But let's not to worry about it. Let's just win. That will do. So come on, you Gunners. Let's have it on Wednesday. North London derby. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. I will speak to you all later. Take it easy. See you soon.
Bye.